CTTB Music Podcast.
That little box thing, CTTB. Maybe we should start filming it. Up there in the corner.
Okay, we're on.
Oh, good. At which point did you start?
So the point where I see I've still got the headphones on.
Oh, yeah. Take them off.
Oh, that's a bit weirder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we need to just turn the monitoring off as well.
Okay.
Spooky. Hello, Merry Christmas.
Right, Merry Christmas.
And a happy new, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clink. There we go.
Sound effects.
Excellent. That was genuine.
So we're filming in front of a live studio audience for the second time ever. Woo!
Woo!
Welcome, audience. And it's our Christmas podcast, so as per usual, we're going to be starting off with some Christmas-themed music.
Good job.
This time we've got Seth McFarlane, Holiday for Swing, Idina Menzel, Holiday Wishes, a little flurry into Christopher Leedham with Darkest Carols, Faithful Sing, and then just after that we'll be keeping that kind of mood going, well not the Christopher Lee mood, but the Menzel and McFarlane mood going with She and Him, their latest album Classics, before going on to some new stuff, McBusted, Smashing Pumpkins, Monuments to an Elegy, and Nicki Minaj, The Pink Print. However, I think we should probably start off with Christmas, and probably best to lump them together rather than trying to do them individually. So let's start off with Peter Griffin, Snow Queen Elsa, and Saruman or Dracula, depending on your reference point.
Yes. Probably Saruman. Don't get that in early.
End of podcast.
Right, okay. No, seriously, it's Scaramanga, obviously, from The Man with the Golden Gun.
Scaramouche.
No. Right.
Do the
Dingo. No, let's not get into that again.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Okay.
very, very frightening now.
Hey!
Oh,
Listener! Right.
Yeah, so Christmas.
Seth MacFarlane. Should we start there, or should we just do Christmas? Right. You've already covered this already.
Yeah.
We've not had a pre-Christmas tipple, have we?
No.
Right. Christmas. Well, here it comes again, and I'm glad in a way that actually this year we've decided to not do the entire podcast listening to Christmas albums, because after 5 years,
I know.
5 years, I don't think I could have taken it much longer. All right.
You mean to say you don't really need to hear another version of
Let It Snow?
Let It Snow, Baby It's Cold Outside.
All I Want for Christmas Is You. Do you hear what I hear?
That was one of my highlights of that particular album.
Yeah.
It went downhill dramatically after that.
It did go downhill fast, but let's focus on the positive. Seth MacFarlane, the guy can sing.
Yeah, it swings.
It swings. He can sing. My issue. I'm picking, but my issue here is Seth MacFarlane. I can't listen to him with that particular orchestra without expecting a gag coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You sort of think there's a joke coming in a minute. There's a joke. Here it comes. Here's a cutaway.
Well, maybe the joke is his quote of a Christmas album is the most logical fit. He says as his device goes off. Anything to get in on the jackpot, there's the Christmas time commercialisation.
Okay, fair enough. That's the joke. The joke is he's done this, and he's okay. Yeah, I remember he recorded this back in April. It first sort of crossed my radar, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a solid Christmas album.
Yeah, it is. I prefer this to the Idina Menzel album, but
clearly by a mile.
I would say by a mile, but why
half a mile?
I prefer it is a couple of kilometres.
No. Which I think is further than a mile.
Oh, no. This is going to be a long podcast. The arrangement on the Seth MacFarlane album I think is better. Maybe it's because he's going for the swing approach and using a live orchestra, and apparently all the songs were recorded live, so him singing with him playing at the time. Whereas the Idina Menzel thing definitely sounded like all the bits were stuck together.
Yeah.
So I think his sounds better, although it's still quite dull in places. I mean, Marshmallow World I really like. Version of Christmas songs actually not too bad. Let It Snow starts off pretty good as well. Christmas Dreaming. And then there's a lot of stuff that's just a bit. So his version of Snow, for example, is quite painful. I think What You Do New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Not listening to this album.
I'll listen to it. I'm done with Christmas albums by then, by a long way. And another version of Baby It's Cold Outside.
Well, another two versions.
Another two. I think
the Idina one as well.
I think that's my Christmas track. I don't really need to hear again. Award for 2014. It's that particular song. I can't hear another version of that song, to be honest with you.
No, actually, the worrying thing about that, particularly on the Idina Menzel album, because Seth duets with Sarah Bareilles on his version, whereas Idina goes for the Bublé.
The Bublé.
And the worrying thing about listening to all these Christmas albums is it keeps bringing back the fact that actually, in comparison, how good the Bublé album was, which is quite depressing.
Well, he seems to trot it out every year now as well, so it's obviously doing him the business. But on the Idina Menzel album, obviously, I couldn't help but think cash in, but there is an element of that for sure. But then again, leaves me thinking. Hang on, perhaps just drop one or two songs in from a certain popular film this year? Or would Disney not let her?
Probably not.
Well, she's done the business for Disney. Why not? Why not Disney?
Well, then she wouldn't be able to sing.
Why punish you? Why punish your? Yes, there is that. Okay, gotcha. All right.
That had me
point taken.
Harking back, wanting to hear the Gene Simmons version again.
Oh, good lord.
No, really.
No, really. I'm sure it did.
This album was doing my head in after a while. Although I do actually quite
after a while, track 2.
Well, that's a while. First song, Do You Hear What I Hear? Yeah. Although I did like the kind of Elvis-ified kind of All I Want for Christmas Is You. I quite like the arrangement on that.
You see, that's my guilty pleasure, the original Mariah Carey version. I think I trot this fact out every year.
Yeah, well, it's her one decent track.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
No, we agree every year. I don't know. Do we not?
I know.
No. I don't need to hear another version of that. But it's a bit slim pickings this year in terms of Christmas albums.
Yeah. So the highlight really is Christopher Lee's EP.
Yep.
Darkest Carols.
Faithful Sing.
Which is a kind of reworking of Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Yep.
Done with metal.
And
it's rather amusing.
It's very good. I mean, I was going to say, Christopher Lee belting it out. How old is he? 93?
92, I think.
92, 93? And the guy, he's belting this tune out. Okay, he's not the best singer in the world, but jeez. But Jesus. He's just, it's fantastic. I quite enjoyed it. I think the extended version added an extra layer.
Yeah, I prefer the extended version.
Yeah, I prefer the extended version, actually.
Some extra metaling.
There was some extra metaling, and there was a bit of extra rock vocaling in there as well. They clearly brought in his son, or perhaps his great-grandson, to join in. But absolutely awesome that he's discovered metal. Which I know we've had this conversation before. It always amazes me to think, he's a metaler, isn't he? Oh yeah, he's discovered metal. But he's pretty good at it.
He's kind of up there with Michael Caine being a kind of mad dance music fan.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So that's good. It's a good track. One for the download, or the streaming, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's too late for the Christmas charts anyway.
Thankfully, yes.
Yeah.
So moving swiftly on, let's race through this podcast. She and Him Classics, which is I think the 4th or 5th. Possible album, I think. Yeah,
that's right. 4th, I think.
From
Zooey
Deschanel, Mr. Ward.
Mr. Ward.
And it's stuck as which doesn't tin really. I suppose it's a collection of classic songs from way back when. So things like She and Stars from Alabama and Chain Melody, etc., etc. And even We'll Meet Again of all those. Work for you?
Yeah. No, come on. No, it did. I really enjoyed this album. On repeated listen, it was a grower. And for me, this album was everything that, unfortunately, the Seth MacFarlane one wasn't. In terms of, I think if Seth just sort of dropped just for once the big band and actually did something a little bit alternative like this, it would be quite interesting to hear him sing in a completely different capacity. He does the big band so well, though, unfortunately.
Yes.
Whereas with She and Him, it's classic She and Him. We did a Christmas album of theirs.
We did, I think it was last year, then.
Yes, the year or the year before. And similar sort of stuff, kind of gentle little bit of guitar in the background.
Easy listening.
Easy listening,
Easy
with Zoe's quirkiness riding over the top of it. I quite enjoyed this album. It's not my favourite album of the year, as
it's a bit too easy listening for me.
We'll discuss in a week or two's time. But it's easy listening. But it's all right. It's harmless.
It is harmless.
It's Christmas.
It is harmless in compared to.
I actually preferred this as a Christmas album, though. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine actually playing this in my house over Christmas.
But I
think it would suit most of the age groups present.
Obviously, I still think the definitive version of We'll Meet Again is Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Just about.
Good.
Yeah. I like the version of Stars on Alabama, which suddenly I found difficult to say. But
yeah.
That was one of my highlights of this particular podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Time after time.
It's not Cyndi Lauper, though, is it?
No, I know, but again, it's sort of different enough.
It is.
Right.
Moving on to pop music, and the long-awaited tie-up between McFly and Busted. Yeah. Crowd goes mad.
Crowd's gone mad here.
So McBusted. Then this is obviously the torn geezer from Busted, Charlie Doodah.
Yeah.
He went off and did his own thing and left the other bandmates with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Except go on Strictly.
Was it him or was it the McFly guys that went on Strictly? They all went. They went on. Some of them went on Strictly. Some of them went on the dancing. The
icy thing.
Jungle. Yeah,
Jungle.
Sorry, so I interrupted and got it completely wrong anyway.
So they're all
looking for work.
Yeah. They were kind of McBusted for me all along. Yeah. They weren't really going to identify with any band to start off with. But however,
yes.
I read a really funny interview with the guys, and Harry Judd, who I think he might have been the one that was on Strictly, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. He was commenting on the fact that the new record and the new lineup and everything that NME had actually written a positive thing about them, and this made me laugh. He said, "Even NME did an all-right piece on us," announced drummer Harry Judd. "Whereas 10 years ago they captioned a photo from left to right: cunt, twat, dickhead, and wanker." Yeah.
Yeah.
Things have moved on. So, however, musically, have McBusted moved on?
No. I think probably reassuringly for the fans.
Yes, I would.
They haven't moved on. They haven't moved on at all. But in terms of yeah. It's not that offensive though.
No. I know. Dabbling with fake praise.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I similarly, if I'd been reviewing this a week ago, I would have been probably slightly less kind to it than I'm feeling today. But, and as Nicki Minaj would say, it's a big but. There's some good pop music on here. It's quite fun. And what
we'll come to that one, listeners.
Yeah, what saves it is actually really amusing lyrics.
Yes.
There's a good sense of humour going on.
There is a very good sense of humour.
The whole album. So, and also, just the fact that they've got a song called "Get Over It," and what happened to your band and all that kind of thing. It's some genuinely funny moments in it. What happened to your band is a really good example of
the humour.
A taking the piss track. But self-deferential.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best tracks on the album, along with "Before You Knew Me," which has the line.
Is that line?
Yeah. The rest of 7. Now you're Slipknot groupie.
Yeah. Which was sung in all sincerity.
Yeah.
In one of the quieter moments, which just had me pissing myself on a sidewalk.
And also, I think the track before that, which is when you learn the important things in life, like that beautiful girls are the loneliest.
Yes.
I think it's obvious beautiful girls are the loneliest, he says. Of course.
Deep lyrics. I didn't come for the lyrics.
However, it's quite
I got entertained by one or two of them, so I'm up on there.
So yeah, there's some stinkers on here, but overall, and I would prefer. So obviously, we reviewed the 5 Days of Summer album earlier on in the year, which was a similar style of pop punkish.
Which do you prefer?
The 5 Days of Summer album.
Yeah, no, likewise. There was a kind of Blink 182 thing going on. Whereas these guys, I mean, the thing is with these guys, both bands or this band, is they were just kids. You can remember they were just kids when they first appeared. But they first appeared now a good 14 years ago, ish. So they're actually a man band.
Now they've got bills to pay.
Yeah, quite. Hopefully they're paying their tax, but I'm sure they are. They're a man band, but they're like one of the young man bands, because man bands are now like ancient, like Take That. They're like proper middle-aged men with members disappearing, just like life. So, they're good in that respect. But they still sound like a really young band, and I just wonder if the fans are still really young. I doubt they are.
Well, I'm sure some of them are.
Yeah, one or two, no doubt. So I just wonder where we go from here.
McBusted 2.
Yeah, probably.
It's almost certainly.
So depressingly, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did I say at the start there? Not that offensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Right. We now enter the comedy section of the podcast. To review Smashing Pumpkins' moments to an elegy.
I thought we'd done the comedy bit. No, I'm mistaken. I remember now.
Yeah. So we have Smashing Pumpkins' latest album, Monument to Energy, which is part 2 of the, if you remember, the 3-part box set thing that he was doing.
No.
When we reviewed the last album.
Yeah.
I'm going, oh yeah, good.
Good.
So, it's only fair. Well, it's not fair really, but we're going to anyway. It's only fair or unfair that we start with some of Billy's current outbursts on his own greatness.
Because these have been more entertaining than the album. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
So start off with on Howard Stern. He gave his opinion on Pearl Jam and the Foo Fighters in relation to himself and the Smashing Pumpkins. And so he said of Pearl Jam, "I know Pearl Jam have tremendous fan base, and they should. They're a great band, but I'm a Beatles guy, I'm a Stones guy, I'm a Kinks guy. To me, a lot of other bands don't have that work. I think if you stack up my songs, Cobain's songs, that band's songs, they just don't have the songs. They're a great band, they're still an arena act, and they've gotten to do it for a long time. I have to bow to that. It's a mystery for me, because I don't get it." Not wanting to stop there, he decided to move on to the Foo Fighters and say, "Dave's a great musician, a great songwriter, and has done the work. But to me, my criticism of the Foo Fighters, if I'm being a music critic, is that they just haven't evolved. And that's sort of the recent rap on them is, making the same music. Obviously, I've put my whole life on the line for making different types of music as I've gone along. We'll come back to that in a moment." However, he then gave an interview with The Guardian, where he said, in response to a question about the reviews of this current album, "I think it's obvious. I'm laughing because I thought for sure I would get really strong reviews for our new album, based on all the feedback I was getting, but I get the same reviews I got back in the day. These kind of muddling reviews that just won't fucking say, this is a fucking brilliant album from a brilliant artist. It's always going to have a qualifier to it, so my point is this. I made, according to most people, 2 classic albums, but I go back and read those reviews. I got the same type of reviews as I'm getting now. People assume we got great reviews back then. We got shit reviews. So it's weird, because this is like, here I go again. I strike onto something fresh. Fans are going fucking nuts. Everyone's excited. We've got to have some fucking guy going, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. It's not a 3-star fucking record. Nobody believes it's a 3-star record. Nobody. Okay, these people obviously did. So maybe I shouldn't be so absolute. But I've been in the business for 25 years. And there is nobody in it who believes this is a 3-star record. Nobody. Well, except for me.
Make that 2 of us.
This is so a 3-star record, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something middling to say.
Middling or muddling?
Middling, or both, I think, in terms of...
There are 2 things we have excelled at in the podcast in the past.
I'm sure.
It's the originality that's thrown you, isn't it?
It's the originality of the quotes. It's the originality of the album as well that's thrown me.
It strays away from that Smashing Pumpkins.
There is one track, though, where it does actually go into a bit of a dance beat at the start.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the absolutely dreadful Run to Me.
Yes, the absolutely dreadful track in the middle.
When you think, Together in Electric Dreams.
Yes, that's the one. So there is that, but the rest of it is very Smashing Pumpkins, this record.
Yeah, and actually when it works best is when it's at its most Smashing Pumpkins.
When it works best is when it's doing what Smashing Pumpkins do, or did.
So Tiberius and Being Beige and Anise at the start, I think, are and One and All. So I think the first 4 tracks, I think, are really good and really strong. And then I quite like, I think it's Anti-Hero Dorian at the end, but the kind of middle section of it's just...
Yeah, Anti-Hero's good. Anti-Hero's alright. Anti-Hero's alright. I quite like the cover of Depeche Mode's Lillian. Sorry, Dorian. But other than that...
Yeah.
It's bookended by some good tracks, and the middle's a bit rubbish.
Yeah. Thankfully, it only lasts 32 minutes, though. So
what was that quote? What was that quote? A quote within the quote? I don't really know how I should feel about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way.
So, that only leaves... Oh, I should say, I also forgot to say that we should leave the last word perhaps on this to Billy, who said, if young Billy had gotten the credit he deserved when he deserved it, then things might have been different. Indeed.
One can dream.
Yeah. So, let's move on to Nicki Minaj and the Pink Print, her third album. I should say that I am on record, and in fact on CTTB tweet record, as describing Anaconda as one of the worst records ever made, and not being that much more complimentary about Only, which is the current single, where we learn that Drake or Wayne, which, you know...
Yeah.
I'm glad we're clear on that now.
Glad we're clear on that. Glad they were all there to qualify as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So I... came to this album with some kind of dread, although part of me hoping that the rest of the album would be equally horrific, so that I could just tear it apart in joyous style-y.
Yeah.
However, I have to confess, I actually didn't mind this record. I think of the R&B type things that we've listened to in the last year or so, including stuff by people that are on this album, so Ariana Grande, Beyonce, and co. I think this not only stacks up well against those, but actually is probably better. I think it starts again, a bit like the Smashing Pumpkins album. I think it starts and ends well. So I think All Things Go, I Lied, and The Crying Game.
The Crying Game in particular, I enjoy.
The Crying Game, I think, is the standout track on the album.
Yeah.
Really, really good, really, really strong. Then you got some rubbish, frankly. And then once you get past Anaconda towards the end of the album, you've got The Night Is Still, Pills and Potion, Bed of Lies, and Grand Piano.
And the ballad.
Yeah. Which I think are really, really good.
Yeah.
And I think the album works best when it balances both melody and her singing voice, which is actually very good, with the rapping.
Yep.
Rather than just the rapping and noise, which is what kind of Anaconda became to me, particularly because it just kind of like ruined a really good song. Again, she has said, I am the greatest rapper, and it's humbling because people make you that. I want to let hip-hop culture know I take this seriously. I know they will never be able to dispute my skill.
Right.
So she thinks she's the best rapper.
She thinks she's the best rapper in the world.
Yeah.
She's certainly better than Ariana Grande. And I would agree with that comment strongly, actually. Having been left feeling rather cold by her album when we reviewed that earlier in the year, certainly the best lead female R&B artist we've listened to for a couple of years. I'd go that far. I have to admit, first time I listened to this record, I did struggle somewhat. Probably for some of the reasons you've, definitely for some of the reasons you've outlined, particularly around the sort of saggy middle, where I wasn't feeling the buns.
Apart from her firm bottom.
Yes, exactly, which gets mentioned a lot.
Yeah, she's obsessed with her own arse.
Yes. But it improves on repeated listen. It's oh God, I was going to say it's a solid album. I've been resisting saying it all year.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's where the listeners went. So it's it's all right. It's a good album.
So on that note,
well, that's what end the Christmas special on a positive.
I know it's unusual for us.
Yeah.
Well, I can just say, Anaconda is still shite, so...
Oh, you got to ruin it now.
So we can end it on a negative note.
Oh, good. Okay.
Anywho,
Yep.
I believe that's us done for the festive period.
Is it?
It is.
Blimey.
Another year has gone by.
Really?
Only leaving us with the end of year, best of album, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de thing to do.
Well, I shall look forward to that.
Yeah. So, see you after Christmas.
See you after Christmas.
Bye for now.
See you in 5 minutes.